All right, what's up, everybody? It's the Brownwater Banter podcast. I am Jared Seymour,
I am Joey Cates.
and this is episode 63 of the podcast. It's been a minute since we had an episode on here. We had a lot going on lately, and today we got a good one for you. We got Andrew Whitman from Blackdot Charters. Going to jump on here in just a second and talk to us, man, about his business, how he got his start. The normal topics that we go over, how the fishing's doing right now, but Joey and I just came off of a very successful tournament that we did. Some of you might have seen it here. We streamed it live on the channel. Yeah, right.
Semi-successful.
Exactly. In partnership with David Kewen over at Coastal Angler Mississippi Magazine. It was the 2020 Sheepshead Showdown, man. We had a really good turnout. It was at the Blind Tiger in Biloxi. Joey, we couldn't have had a better day of weather if we would have actually been able to control every single factor ourselves, man. I mean, we got lucky there.
Yeah, I mean, we were literally 4 days away from having this tournament in March, and then the world stops turning, and then we pick another day, and it's the most beautiful weekend. I mean, it was a little breezy, but it was cool. It was perfect fishing weather, perfect weigh in, having a good time outside weather for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe 2020 spotted us a little bit for everything else we've had to deal with. Had a great turnout for the kids division. You know, we did 3 divisions: sheep's head, speckled trout, redfish, and we did top 10 kids. Top 20 kids got a free fishing pole. I don't know if that went through or not. Top 20 kids got a free rod and reel combo, and the top 10 got a trophy and a rod and reel. So that was cool. But one of the guys that actually turned in a redfish, but it was a quarter of an inch too long.
An eighth of an inch.
Oh, an eighth of an inch. That burns even a little bit more. Is going to be our next guest here. But before we do that, I want to mention real quick, like we always do here, because we're proud to be sponsored by Southern Magnolia Smiles. That's Dr. Robbie Williams and his staff right there. Great group of people. He's a local dentist right here in Ocean Springs. If you're looking for a dentist, they're just, I can't say enough good things about him, and we appreciate his support for the show. He's been a sponsor of ours since the very, very early stages of this podcast. So we want to thank him. If you want to get in touch with him, he's an OG supporter, actually a guest on one of the early episodes too. Go look that up. Absolutely. For a little fun trivia. Check him out. You can call him at 228-215-1202 or hit him up on their website at southernmagnoliasmiles.com. All right. So I'm getting the alerts, Joey, from you sharing. So that's cool. Don't waste any more time. Let's bring Andrew in and let's talk to him about Blackdot Charters. Andrew, what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
How you doing today?
Appreciate the opportunity. I'm doing real well. Real well.
Hello?
Yeah, I seem to be.
Did we lose everybody?
Did we lose Jared? I can hear you, Joey.
Jared looks, Jared
looks frozen.
Jared, don't you love the internet?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, we still got it. We can roll without Jared. Jared will catch back up later, man.
Yeah, he'll see us. But man, I can't even believe how.
How about now?
Yeah, no, we can
hear you, but you're a little fuzzy.
Just roll with it.
Yeah, man, that tournament was awesome.
Man. We could, like I said, we couldn't have picked a better weekend, and we had a ton of people pile in and register. But to me, the best thing was watching all those kids get up there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. We took my 12-year-old daughter out there, and we fished for 11 hours, and we couldn't get her a keeper sheephead, and that's embarrassing. I don't mean to be saying that. We caught a bunch. She just wasn't on the rod when it went down. So
yeah,
she ended up winning a door prize, which was almost as good. So
good enough.
But we had a blast. We actually registered in March, and we were looking forward to. We were all rigged up, ready to go, and then COVID kind of derailed the whole operation. So I was super excited to see you guys pop it back up. I was like, cool.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. Well, tell us a little about yourself, man. Tell us how you got started in the charter business and what your charter is, and just what you got going on.
I have a charter. It's Blackdot Charters. Blackdot, as in the tail of the redfish. It's kind of my specialty. There's some trout fanatics out there. I'm the opposite. I'm a redfish fanatic. I can't get enough of them.
Okay.
It's just what I go for. I can catch some trout and I can catch everything else, but there's just something about the redfish that me and my son who is my deckhand. That's what we love. But we had the idea way back in. We lost everything in Katrina. We were here way back then, and we had to regroup in Massachusetts. And we said, "What do we want to do when we get back?" And I had been fishing for 8 years down here after I moved from Massachusetts. We said, "I want to run a charter boat. I want a charter boat." We got back here, and it was just too much work to be done. I had to make money, had to pay bills, had to do this, had to do that. So we pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And finally, last year, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And we got the boat. We got all the things, all our ducks in a row. We didn't actually press go till maybe February this year. We got live, got all of our things going on, and then took a few charters and COVID hit. We were like, oh, I don't know. So we took it real mellow. But we've actually had a lot of success. We picked up a slip in Biloxi Small Craft Harbor, which has got walk-bys and signage and stuff. And we're slowly building something. It's actually been amazing.
Now, is this your full-time gig, your full-time charter, or what do you do this on the side, or how's that work?
No, I wish. I actually am a full-time producer at Keesler Air Force Base for their public affairs. So
you do the media kind of like we do.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
It's great, and it's stable, but there's something that just draws you outside. You know what I mean? I've been fishing my whole life, but down here, it's just, I grew up in Massachusetts, and it's not even close. You know, you can get some striped bass and some bluefish and some other stuff, but down here, it blew my mind when I first got down here. So
yeah, once that saltwater hit gets your veins, it's kind of hard to shake for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. You said that your son is your deckhand, huh? He goes with you on every trip?
Yeah, he is. He's been on the boat since he was really young, like dumb young. And he's got it bad. He is actually an avid fly fisherman, ties his own flies, and he has aspirations to be a fly guide, whether it be here or the Keys or Belize or something. So I figured I could at least get him on the boat, get the people experience, dealing with people, dealing with money, dealing with pressures of actually having to catch fish and the work aspect of it. And he's thrived, man. He's really gung ho. He's also been helpful.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So he does the whole 9 yards, right? Pull the anchor, clean the fish, tie them on, everything.
Well,
right?
I'm cleaning fish just because I
It
don't
counts.
trust him. I don't trust him with a knife yet, but we're working on it, man.
I got you.
But he's extremely helpful. He's a great people person. He's constantly baiting hooks, re-rigging, doing the whole 9 yards. Keeping people excited, pumped up.
Well, what do you fish, man? What kind of boat you fish?
We have a 24-foot Sea Hunt BX 24.
Yeah, those are nice.
It's been great. It's been absolutely great. We can get our go-to spots are obviously the islands. During snapper season, we'll poke our head out there to Fish Haven 1 and 2, like the rest of the small boats in the Back Bay. But it's been comfortable for everybody. We got enough seats for 4, plenty of shade, and great fuel mileage. It's been an amazing boat. We had a smaller Sea Hunt for the past 15 years. We upgraded last year when we decided to go and give it a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
That's awesome. And is that usually what Blackdot is? Redfish, trout, flounder, and then occasionally bump outside for snapper.
We can go to chandelier, but it requires a different license. But we don't have a permit, a reef permit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just not worth going out there most times if you can't catch snapper. So we've had an amazing amount of success at the islands. And the Back Bay is my second home. We fish out of kayaks a lot. So we've really, 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 really got the Back Bay dialed in.
Now, when you say, do you do charters out of kayaks too, or you just do it?
No, I don't even know how that would work, to be honest with you. But it's given us an intimate knowledge of a lot of the Back Bay that I probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Yeah, it takes a lot of learning for sure.
Yeah, and the guy who won, Matt, who won the redfish competition, caught his redfish out of a kayak too. That dude's a
Yeah.
beast.
And the Ray guy who had the speckled trout for a while was a kayak for sure. Those two guys killed the kayak division just about every tournament.
Yeah, I tried that kayak tournament a couple weeks ago just to see if it was something I'd be into. I ended up flipping my kayak, losing 2 of my rods. Had a whole yard sale. It was embarrassing, but when I got my rod back after reeling up my anchor, there was a redfish on it, and it was a bull redfish, and it would have won the tournament had I read the rules and had some stamp on my arm or something. But
Yeah,
kayak tournament's a lot of work.
but I had a Hobie.
Guys.
Yeah, I had a Hobie at one time back before I had my big boat, and I loved it. I mean, you can get to places where you can't in a regular boat. You know what I'm saying? You can get skinny real quick.
And you can go 8 miles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had a Hobie out back, and it was fantastic. But anytime I went with my son, I ended up towing him if we went more than 2 or 3 miles. So I was like, nope.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, thanks.
Well, redfish, man, what's your draw to redfish? Because I know in me or a lot of people, you know, you go out there and you target speckled trout. It seems like the smaller the redfish to me is always the best, right? The 18, 19 inches, or do you target? I mean, I'm sure you target for your customers the bigger reds just to put them on a boat, but do you keep the smaller reds, or how does that work?
Yeah, I love redfish. I worked at restaurants for a while. I worked at Emerald's, and they served a really nice redfish with pecan crusting and things of that nature. So, I mean, I love redfish. I'll eat them. But a lot of the guests enjoy catching the really big fish, but they want to eat something too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always weird because in the summer, in the last 3 months, you could find the big schools of bull redfish, but you really had to go back up in the back bay, really far up, to find the slot reds. But now that things are starting to heat up in the back bay, we've been actually finding some pretty reasonable size fish. No monsters, but for a while there, during like the heat of the summer, you found an 18-inch redfish, 19-inch redfish, you were pretty happy, or at least I was, because just the slots were really hard to come by. But as the fish that I weighed in came from the back bay, and it was just a shade over, but that's the biggest redfish I caught in the bay since that wasn't under the lights.
I felt bad for you, man. I really did, because Matt's buddy weighed in one that was about a quarter of an inch over, and then Matt came in and he was maybe a 16th under, and you came in with an 18th over, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, you said it at the weigh-in. You know, we're gonna pinch the tails, but I lied it on the measuring board, and it sat there. And we were like, It was worth a try.
I mean, it was close. It was very close. Yeah, it was still a good fish for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a buddy weigh in a sheephead. He was pretty excited. Didn't win, but I mean, it was still his biggest sheephead. The reason why I really enjoyed that tournament, by the way, is I can catch redfish and I can catch sheephead. I can't go out there and catch a trophy trout.
Yeah.
On demand. I just can't. And I hate to say it out loud, but I mean, I can go to the spots where I think they're going to be and where I've caught them in the past. But during tournament time, when it's go time, I can catch a redfish. I can catch a sheephead. But I didn't even enter the trout division. I should have, because we had 2 speckled trout that were really good size. But I didn't enter that competition. It's just the way it turns out sometimes.
Yeah. If you don't enter it, you're going to catch a 6-7 pound trout for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, we've been getting lucky with these storms, man, and the rain. And it looks like Back Bay is going to be, if we don't barring any kind of crazy monsoon, it looks like Back Bay is going to be awesome this year, especially the salinity's already up way up the river. So fish, trout, mullet, everything's moving in. Is that where you're going to be planning on targeting during the winter? Is that where y'all go, or y'all still stay at the island?
In the wintertime, we'll spend, clearly depending on the weather. No guest is going to want to ride whatever bay boat you have in 3-foot seas anywhere out to the islands. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can tuck in the back bay, even with 15, 20 knot winds, and still catch fish. But our jam is the flats at the islands. We'll stock big schools of black drum, big schools of redfish, sight cast to them, fly fish to them. We've got them pretty well. For the last 2 or 3 years, we had them really dialed in, where we could go put people on them and not have to sit there for 3 hours looking for them. And if it was nice out, we can pick up all the sheephead you could ever want out there too. So
Right.
in the wintertime, that's our A plan. Hey.
Hey, buddy.
My internet took a complete crap on me, but I'm just glad to know that y'all still didn't get kicked off. And I've looked at the Facebook; it's still live. So don't let me interrupt.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
We just been sitting here waiting on you.
Yeah, that's
I was
fine.
just sitting there. No,
I'm not going to ask any questions because I don't want you to have to repeat anything because I have no clue what y'all have been talking about.
Oh, it's no problem. I was just telling him that during the wintertime, I really like to specialize searching the flats for those big black drum schools and big redfish. The clients, when you can see 50 to 100 redfish and you can cast to them and creep around, that's the money.
No doubt. especially on a fly rod, man. Is that something y'all incorporate in y'all's trips? You know, just do you bring the fly rod out there?
We're just starting, and really marketing is something I'm still working on, to be honest. You know what I mean? And with my full-time job, I have to be cognizant that I'm a weekend warrior. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But
we can relate to that.
But we all can't live the dream, for sure.
No, I can plan ahead and make things happen, but
yeah, there's a couple guys that I've seen on Facebook that are promoting, not many, one or two maybe, that are promoting fly fishing out in the Gulf there. And
it's something different.
We've had some messages from a couple of them talking about that. I think they even have an organization too, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But I've only ever fly fished freshwater, so I can only imagine how fun it is in saltwater.
I love me some bass. But we have all the fly rods we need to get people on them. They're always on the boat. But my son, if we got a Sunday, it's not booked or whatever, we get a holiday or something that's not booked, we're taking him out there to the shrimp boats. We're taking him out there to the rigs. We're taking us out there to, you can get on those schools of 1,000 bonita and chase those things. People on the East Coast call them false albacore or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They pay big money charters to go out there and do that stuff. We can offer that. You can get on the shrimp boats with the jacks on the fly. It's a workout.
Some people, I've read some articles on that bonita where it's like the true bonita, that they're actually decent eating, decent table fare, but I don't think I'm ready to try that yet.
I have tried some when somebody properly bled it. It was nice, but they also had blackfin and yellowfin, so you're kind of like,
well, yeah.
Beggars can't be choosers, but
yeah,
I'd much rather just keep a redfish or something. You know what I mean?
Now, what's your favorite recipe for redfish? You blacken them, fry them? What do you do with them?
All right, bear with me, and sorry, Emeralds, if I'm stealing it. I told him I worked at Emeralds for a while as a front waiter, so
that's a good selling point.
Yeah. They served a pan-seared redfish, but they had andouille sausage, which they render down with breadcrumbs and pecans. And you just pan-sear it hard. Put that crust stuff in the middle, put it in the oven for like 10 minutes. Get some roasted vegetables and some shoestring potatoes, a little Creole Meunier sauce, which is just butter, a butter reduction sauce.
It sounds delicious.
I end up making 9 pans in the kitchen, or my wife does, but it's good. But either way, I'll eat redfish anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Actually, it sounds amazing for sure.
But that's an Emerald's recipe. It's just something that we picked up and we tried to recreate at the house, and it's delicious.
So a trip with Blackdot Charters. Walk us through that. So we're going to meet you at the small craft harbor.
Yep, D16. We're actually on the south side. All the under 40-foot charter boats are mostly on the north wall. We're on the south wall. We got there late to the game. We picked the only spot they had left. But we've actually had, you can see my sign from, what's that, McElroy's?
Yeah.
Right there in Biloxi Small Craft Harbor. You can see my sign from there, and we get a ton of foot traffic. But pop on the boat. I give everybody the safety rundown. We've already got our bait ice in the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'll either head out to the islands, head in the back bay, get everybody comfortable. My son's, chatting everybody up while we get all the fishing started. But it's been amazing, actually. I'm super excited about how the boat's handled. I'm super excited about how my son's handled. I'm a pretty excitable guy when it comes to fishing. So, I mean, we've had some positive reviews. People have been happy. I look forward to. I got a 5-year plan that I'll be on the boat full time, and we'll have my son his own boat. So
Sweet.
I'm trying not to rush. I'm trying to be as polite and as reasonable as possible. Build my brand and my name to the best of my abilities. But we've had a lot of people be extremely gracious with their time and energy. Kyle Johnson has been a
Kyle's a
mentor, if
good
you
guy,
will.
man.
Yeah, I knew him for a while, and we shot an episode of Gulf South Outdoors with him. That's when I first met him, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And he quit his job and started going full time. And I was like, man, that's
He's
a
living the
serious
dream.
leap. But he's making it happen. He's an excellent fisherman. He's got a solid, positive attitude. So I'll follow his lead.
Well, you do like Kyle does a lot of photography too. You do a lot of photography and filming yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I've been in the television movie game for 12, 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Is that in the military, all of that, or
No, in fact, the Keesler gig, I was on a documentary film series, and somebody reached out and said, "Hey, there's a job at Keesler, and you don't need to travel. You got banker's hours, and they pay well." I said, "Sign me up."
Yeah.
You know, the television work and
are
feature
you?
film
So
work.
I might have missed this part. Are you active duty or?
No, I'm a contractor. I'm a producer on Keesler Air Force Base for public affairs.
Jared's got
This internet's living the
AOL.
dream.
He's got AOL.com. He's got a little mouse that's running his router right now. His kid's
But
probably
yeah.
downstairs with every phone and every tablet and everything else
Xboxes,
doing it
yeah.
at one time.
Okay.
But yeah, I am not. This is the first time I've ever dealt with any military life. Absolutely love those guys. They do an amazing service to the country, and it's a really neat gig.
It's
be
no
honest.
doubt.
But the 5-year plan is,
Get on that
put some
water
work
full
in,
time.
Put some work in. Yeah, I can see how it can happen. My wife does real well, but I definitely. It's when I'm out there, and I've caught 1,000 million fish. That's a stupid thing to say, but I've caught a lot of fish, and my son's caught a lot of fish. The joy of bringing somebody out there and just having them catching the fish and seeing how excited they get, and then they get to bring it home and eat it. And
Yeah.
we live in a pretty cool part of the country. I've been to a lot of places, but there are very few places like the Gulf Coast. So it's nice to be able to bring people out there. It's a little hot in the summer times, but we have
Yeah.
a T-top now.
You got a little shade for you, huh?
Yeah, it's been pretty comfortable actually.
So if we wanted to book Blackdot Charters, where we need to go? Where we need to find?
I would go directly to my website. It's blackdotcharters.com. You
Okay.
can find all that. You can fill out the submission form. It works pretty well.
Are you booking 5 days a week, 7 days a week, or weekends? How you booking?
Nope, I do weekends only for now, unless you got a plan. We can always
Right.
make arrangements. I got plenty of time to spare, but the guarantees are the Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah. And this time of year, sheephead, redfish, white trout, speckled trout,
Yeah,
all
I
in
mean,
the
we can catch
wheelhouse?
anything in the back bay right now, and we
Yeah.
can guarantee that we can get there. You know what I mean? And even
Yeah.
still, before these trips to the islands, even past the islands, we've been able to find some fish, but nothing like the back bay. We've seen the shrimp are starting to move back up into the back bay, or they have been for the past month, and things are starting to get into that nice fall pattern where everything is where you expect it to be. The trout are starting to move back there. We've been catching speckled trout consistently, weeding through a lot, but the birds are starting to dive in the back bay. All the docks and all the points are holding fish like where you'd imagine they would be. So it's been good.
I know I went over the bridge the other day and there was a pile of mullet by Goat Island, so I know it's going to be salty up there for sure.
Yeah, they've been there for a month, and you see those pelicans diving every dang time. And you're just like, there's got to be a trillion fish. I haven't caught a single fish over where those things are diving.
It's hard not to stop for sure. I've always been told wherever you see pelicans dive and stop because there's going to be something good underneath it for sure.
Yeah,
now,
they
haven't always been right, but
out near the end of what is that, Deer Island? You see them out there. We'll cut up some mullet. You'll get the bull reds, especially this time of year. The bull reds will start to hang out near the end of there, especially on outgoing tide, and it's you can almost guarantee yourself 2 or 3 of those nice, really orange bull reds.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's awesome, man. And Andrew, man, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, man. That's Andrew Whitman, Captain Andrew Whitman, right?
yeah.
And that's Blackdot Charters. You can find him on Facebook. You on Instagram? Where you at?
Yep. Those are the only 2. Everything
Facebook,
else gets too
Instagram. That's
complicated.
Blackdot Charters, and then your website's blackdotcharters.com.
Yep.
That'll work. So if you need a charter on Saturday, Sunday, you know where Small Craft is. Find Captain Andrew Whitman and go out and catch. Hopefully, hey, Jared's back.
Man, I was trying to watch it on the phone. I restarted my router. I went downstairs, killed them. It's been very interesting for me on my end, fellas.
Well, we're signing off, man. We got everything rolling, so I hate you miss it, man. You can watch.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm sorry about that, man. I really wanted to be there.
Not a
I wanted
problem.
to be there, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's awesome to be a part of this. I've seen it since, well, quite a while ago. So
yeah,
I can officially say that I've been a part of it. Something on the coast, you know what I mean?
Well,
get ready,
good things.
Get ready for that next sheephead showdown because it's gonna be better next year for sure.
That's right, and we love reoccurring guests too. So this doesn't have to be a one-off.
Yeah, it's awesome. I look forward to it. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, brother. Well, take it easy.
Great night.
Yep.
All right.